You're listening to Inside the Locker Room with Wimp and Barry Sanderson on Tide 100.9 in Tuscaloosa.
Mostly sunny with a high at 73. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 45 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Inside the Locker Room with former Crimson Tide basketball coach Wimp Sanderson and his son, former SEC and ACC assistant basketball coach Barry Sanderson. It's time to take you inside the locker room on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome in. I got a frog in my throat. I didn't yell too much last night. We did have a game, but we could work out the throat there. Sorry. Welcome to Inside the Locker Room. The phone number, as always, guys, 205-342-9904 if you'd like to join us on the show. The X accounts are at Locker Room 109, at Barry Sanderson, and at Wimp Sanderson1. Email address for our show is wimpandbarry@yahoo.com. Download that app, the Tide 100.9 app. Get that on your smartphone as you're hanging out on Saturday and you decide not to go to the game. I know some people will not go to this game, and if you don't, then make sure you send your tickets to somebody, but you can get the app and listen to Chris and those guys, Tyler Watts, as you do your yard work, getting the leaves out of the yard. Yellowwood, pressure-treated pine from Great Southern. Always remember, guys, if it doesn't have the yellow tag on it, you don't want it. You want to build the 5-star backyard, the fence, the deck, the pergola. There's only one choice, and that would be Yellowwood. Go to yellowwood.com to find the dealer that is closest to you. Good morning, Chase. Good morning, Dad. How are you guys this morning?
Okay. In football last night, East Carolina got a little better and won over Tulsa, and Grambling lost to Alabama A&M. In basketball, in the league, in the SEC, LSU won a non-conference game, and Missouri finally found somebody they could beat. They won a non-conference game. There's only 2 games non-conference. Conference teams that played. Today, I had a chance to look at the schedule completely, but today, Alabama, I think, will play Purdue. I believe that's correct. This afternoon, I believe that's right. Is that not right, Barry?
Yeah, they play at 7 o'clock tonight on Peacock.
So I won't be watching that. Georgia's leading rusher, Stigma, is ruled out, which is a real hurt for Georgia playing Tennessee. They need him very badly. Bagway says he's ready to play at Florida and will start against LSU. The quarterback at BC, I say this because it's one of Doug's bets, I think. Castellano Lanos was taken off the starting position. He's gone. Florida State's really struggling with their recruiting because of their bad season. Just lost a 4-star. And, of course, we already talked about yesterday about lost the kid to Ole Miss. And balls are sort of keeping things a secret as to whether the quarterback is going to play or not play. He's questionable, which means he'll probably play. The quarterback at Vanderbilt, who wanted to make some lawsuits, not going to work out, they'll think. They dropped him or they dropped him or whatever. That's really about all I had. I do want to say this to you, that for the last several months, Barry's mother and my wife have been ill, sick. It's got to the point now that it's, somewhat bad, and sometimes I have to go on and off the show to take a phone call. So most of the time we do it, but I'd like for y'all to know that. You
Yeah, you feel like you need to get off the show.
I don't now. I've got her in a place and I'm meeting with them after lunch. Jimmy Taylor, who's South Alabama's coach's son, is helping me. We've got her in a place right now, but sickness at a heavy age is a very, very most difficult thing that you can imagine. So I hope that if people listening to this show will realize that, say something about her, and realize that, somewhere down the line it may come to you that it needs to be planned and thought about. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yep, that's a tough deal to get up there and see her this weekend. All right, tonight, Dad and Chase, Alabama does take on Purdue. I was wrong. The game is 6 o'clock. It's on Peacock. Purdue 3-0. Alabama is currently 3-0. Alabama 2.5-point favorite at Purdue tonight. Game's in Mackey Arena. It's a little bit different kind of arena. The benches, unless they've changed it, I don't think they have. I played there one time, are below the floor. So it's a loud. It'll be a loud environment in there tonight. Purdue coming off a great year last year. Obviously, they lost a couple guys, but Fisher Lawyer is their lead scorer at 17 points again. They got 3 guys averaging 17, 16, and 15. Braden Smith's a guard that's really good. So I think Matt Painter, that is probably one of the best coaches in the country, maybe that people don't know about unless you're a basketball fan. You probably don't know Matt Painter. He was a longtime assistant in Gene Cady. So Purdue's had a very solid basketball program for several years, obviously under Gene Cady. And then Matt Painter's done an excellent job there. So they have good tradition of basketball. It'll be a great environment tonight. It'll be a tough road environment for Alabama. They'll find out a lot about where they are tonight.
Well, I think they will. It's a good Alabama team that probably hasn't played the way that they would like to play, because sometimes when you don't shoot it well, things don't go good on either end. They still need a lot of work defensively, I think. And they, I guess they are playing more people than I thought, because Barry mentioned, I think they have 2 of them redshirted. But they have the kind of team, publicity-wise and media-wise, that is going to be a top 4 team in the country. Not even much doubt about that. So they have a great chance, of course, to win the league. I think the league is a little bit topsy-turvy. Arkansas, to me, is not as good as we think they should be. Auburn is very, very good defensively, but not as good offensively. I think you'll see that after they've played at Houston. Not as good offensively as they need to be, but they're good. Tennessee would be in that realm there of being good. I haven't had a chance to see them much, but they're probably good. And outside of that, everything else, I think I may have missed somebody. I think everybody else would be a surprise. So you have some surprises. You have 16 teams in the league. I think Texas would be a surprise. Oklahoma, maybe some surprises I don't know about. But the teams I mentioned, I think, are the best, with Alabama leading the way in the SEC.
Yeah. All right. Flip it back to football. Alabama's had 2 flips. Flipped on that kid from Dawson Merritt, an edge rusher from Kansas, has been committed. I don't know what, Chase, since the summer. Flipped his commitment yesterday, and now he is going to Nebraska. And then they lost the kid from Mississippi, Caleb Cunningham, who is going to Mississippi. Now, I really believe if all things were the way they used to be, and we were talking about just scholarship, that these guys would come to Alabama based off of, the guys that they put in the pros and the opportunity to win a championship. And Ole Miss can possibly win a championship. Nebraska is far away from that. But, when you get this NIL involved, especially a kid from Kansas, then you had an in-state kid from Mississippi, and Ole Miss is doing well, and he's at the Georgia Ole Miss game, and they finally knock off Georgia. People start getting giddy with their wallets, I think, there. So these out-of-state kids, it's going to be a battle to the end to get these guys signed. They're not looking at just the tradition of Alabama and the pros anymore. There's other factors that come into play, and I think that's what's leveling the playing field in college football, really probably basketball as well as we go through this thing. But it's going to be tough to hold on to these recruits, right? If they're committed to Bama and they're in another state, that probably means that's a must-get for that state, Dad. So this NIL deal could come back and bite Alabama football here at the end when it gets close to this signing day.
Well, what you said is exactly right, and you'll get more money somewhere else. Your uncle will come in there and say, "I just got a call from Coach so-and-so. They said they can do this for you." Here's what that means. It means that Kalen DeBoer and the staff, and the general manager in particular, have got to stay abreast with everybody that they've signed, that they're getting throughout the procedure. You can't back away from them. You've got to know where they are, and the assistant coaches who recruit them have got to report to the general manager if you're going to keep those people. What Barry has said about people changing their mind is 100% correct. In a particular case of a kid from Mississippi, he went there and they had a big win. Everybody was happy, and girls were there, and money, I'm sure. And, they've got a couple of Alabama people there coaching now. That's big, too. A couple of defensive people coaching there. And then the guy from Kansas says he's going to Nebraska. So it's an endless deal of staying right with the guy that you've gotten with your assistant coaches to be darn sure. I know your head coach is worried about the games and getting everybody ready, but you've got to be able to report to him where you are. You're exactly right. You'll lose some of the doings that you've got.
Well, you know this better than any of us. In every state, depending on what sport, baseball, basketball, football, there are guys that have the tag as must get. Like you must get this guy. I think the kid in Mississippi was a must get. And so when an out-of-state team gets him and it's somebody in your conference, I think the people around probably Mississippi were like, hey, this is a must get. So they're willing to do more than the out-of-state team like an Alabama is probably financially for them. So those are guys they can't lose if they want to have an opportunity for Ole Miss to continue what they're doing. So these are must-gets. Well, Alabama's probably only taking commitment from must-gets in every state, right? So if Alabama's offering you and you're committed there, you're probably a must-get in that state. So I think that's going to make it difficult to finish.
Well, and I think, too, if Barry and I were to get on to talk about the disappointing teams in the SEC, he would name two or three that he thought are disappointing this year, and I could name two or three who might not be the same. And disappointing years make that player in Florida State's going through this decide not only with the money. I don't think I want to go over there. So your record, even as you go, and if you're picked high and you fall on your face a little, is another problem along with the money, because the kids don't want to go where they don't think they're going to win.
Yes. So anyway, I just mentioned stuff that is kind of happening with football season going on. I don't think people are paying that much attention to it, but it could show up. You could get in the next couple of years, you'll say, where'd that guy come from? Why didn't we get him? And then you'll remember, he flipped right there when we were in the middle of the season. I didn't even realize it. All right, we'll take the break, and we'll get back. We'll put the phone lines 205-342-9904. 2 minute truck there at 1330 Martin Road East. That's where you go pick up your boxes, your packing supplies, whatever you need to make this a smooth move. It's local, out of town, out of state, no problem. Let the professionals handle it. They'll take great care of you and your stuff. Give them a call today for the free estimate, 205-247-5050. It's 2 minute truck movers who care.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Friday morning. As expected, the drought is worsening in Alabama despite this week's rainfall. The current drought monitor shows most of Marengo County, southern portions of Greene, Hale, and Perry counties here in West Alabama in extreme drought. The remainder of the counties in West Alabama are under moderate to severe drought conditions. Click TuscaloosaThread.com all throughout the day for more local news, sports, and weather coverage. It's absolutely free. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. We are rolling with a purpose on the Tuscaloosa freeways and side streets. It is a Friday light, and you will find your basic travels as well as construction. And so if you're traveling on McFarland on the eastbound lanes to Lurleen Wallace, well, that's stop and go traffic because, well, you're stopping at the red light and then going at the green.
What's a corn farmer's favorite dog? A husky.
Some things shouldn't be flat. But with GHX, you can maximize your acres with one flat price. While other brands sell by the bag, we sell seed by the acre to maximize your yield and profit potential. Our custom seed recommendations combine extensive product characterization and agronomic expertise to get the right product, population, and placement, all for one flat price per acre. Learn how at ghxseed.com/connect.
Or enjoy free shipping to your home on purchases over $25. Your new Academy Sports and Outdoor store is located at 4610 U.S. Highway 280 in Birmingham.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A beautiful day today with sunshine in full supply, the high 65. Very cool tonight, the sky clear, the low 42. Tomorrow and Sunday, sunny both days, highs around 70. Monday, mostly sunny with a high at 73. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 46 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Your home for Alabama Crimson Tide football. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Pressure treated lime from Great Southern Wood. Build the fence to deck the pergolas. Only one choice. That would be Yellowwood. Go to yellowwood.com to find the dealer closest to you. About 6 years ago, maybe longer than that, 7 years ago, maybe even 8. Gosh. I was running a basketball tournament out at Shelton. I think it was probably 8 years ago. And Hale County was there. And they were playing, I believe it was Mountain Brook. We had a bunch of teams come in and play, top teams in the state. And Hale County had a kid named Herb Jones. And I remember Avery Johnson was here. And I kept telling those guys, my buddies, I said, y'all need to offer this kid right now. He could play 5 positions. He was skinny, but you could tell he was going to be really, really good. And Alabama was kind of hesitant. I think they finally convinced Avery Johnson to offer him. I think Coach Petway did. I had told Philip Pearson about him when he was at Georgia. Anyway, I say all that to say we know the rest of the story of what Herb Jones turned up. He ended up being SEC Player of the Year's senior year. We played Hale County again last night. My team did. And they've got another prospect over there, a kid named Gage Mayfield. He's long, he's athletic, he can pull up and shoot it. He's just a junior. So Hale County's pumping out some prospects. I don't know if Alabama's recruiting him or not. He's probably right on the borderline for those guys, but this guy's a real prospect. So if you get an opportunity to get out and see high school basketball, I would say this kid, I hadn't seen anybody in the area, but I would say this kid's probably the best player or best prospect in there. I know Bryant has some really young kids that are good as well. This kid's just a junior. And so, anyway, for high school basketball, it's just now kind of getting going. I would highly recommend if you get a chance to go see him. There'll be a lot of people come in and try to recruit this kid. So Hale County has got another really good player over there. All right, that's enough of that. All right, that Alabama takes on Missouri. What needs to happen in this game? Obviously, you got to win it, and we all think they're going to win it. But as you move through, maybe they can get a chance to look at maybe some of the 2s and 3s and kind of find out, maybe evaluate those guys and kind of see what they need recruiting-wise. They'll know how many guys they're going to be losing. I don't know if they know what they're going to lose to the portal. But it's an opportunity, hopefully, to maybe, especially with the 4-game redshirt rule, it's good to look at some other guys if they can get this game where they need to. I know you don't go in thinking that, but as a coaching staff, you're probably in the meeting, you're saying, if this happens, we want to look at this guy and how beneficial is it to these guys probably hadn't gotten to play that much. They probably need to get their feet wet a little bit.
Well, Alabama needs to get off to a good start, number one. I think Milroe had a little bit of an ankle injury when they played one time. Everybody kept saying Milroe's back to his own old self. And I heard a guy on the show that I was on the other day explain all what went on, and he was very learned about it. In fact, it was former coach at UAB. They need to get off to a good start, and they need to be, score and defend and play good. And then, as Barry's mentioned, they need, as they get off to a good start, to work guys in, to have a substitution pattern that will benefit them if they're in that situation. And and I don't like particularly care for this kind of thing, but they don't need a 14-10 win. I know, and Barry mentioned about Lane Kiffin throwing a pass, everybody criticized him and explained why, because they're looking at scores. I think this Alabama team is good, the committee might say. But boy, they didn't play very good against Mercer. That kind of thing is in the committee chairs when they're behind, when they're talking. So I think Barry's right. They need to get off to a good start, play well, and then be ready for the 2 conference games that they have left. So Alabama's capable of doing so. I think they've got a good feel for themselves, and if they don't, and Barry's talked about. I'll let him go back over that again. A Tennessee-Georgia game that goes along with this. What happens if Tennessee wins? What happens if Georgia wins? I'm saying that. What happens to Alabama down the road? You might want to talk a little bit about that to our listeners.
Well, if Tennessee wins, I think they would have the inside track, probably get to Atlanta. If Georgia wins, then Texas A&M is sitting here with 1 loss in Texas, but they got to play each other. So then you talk about the committee, where would they rank these teams? And I think Alabama would go ahead of Georgia and Tennessee because Georgia would have beaten Tennessee, and Alabama has better wins. So as far as the conference goes and getting to Atlanta, I haven't studied it, but the people that have think if everything kind of goes the way it's supposed to go, that Alabama will win the tiebreakers and they would be in Atlanta. Now, some people say, well, you don't want to be in Atlanta. You don't want to play that extra game. Well, I think you do. If you want to win this, you win the SEC championship. That's important. I think a lot of people are saying that because they want to have a home game in the playoff. But if you win that SEC championship, you get the bye. One of the things, the way these things matches up, depending on what seed you are, and I think JC said this yesterday, and maybe it went over people's head, but let's say somebody like a Clemson wins the ACC. Well, they'll be the 4 seed. Well, that's going to give somebody like an 8 or 9 a pretty easy second-round game. You're not playing Ohio State or one of those guys. So the seeding there, they're not really a 4 seed. You know how that is in the NCAA tournament, that you're playing somebody that's a seed and they've been misseeded. Now, and if Clemson's a 4 because they won the ACC, they're not really a 4. So somebody's going to get an easier path to the national champ. Not that Clemson's terrible, but the seeding will not be true. It's not a true seeding when you give the conference champions the top 4 seed. So that could factor. You could get lucky there and get an easier second round game in those situations.
Yeah, we're going to spend a lot of time after it's over talking about what could have happened, what should have happened, and why this happened and why that happened. You know, there's a lot of talk about Texas, Alabama, and Atlanta. That's the big talk that I get from what people I know. And, they're, fearful that, Texas might throw the football the way they throw it, and the way Coach Saban's bragged about him and hurt Alabama with a big score. But I have no idea.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the Yellowwood hotline here, and let's get Philip in. Good morning, Philip.
Good morning. Well, guys, I'm fixing to stream Peacock.
Yeah. They got you. They got you, don't they, Philip?
Yeah, that's what it's coming to.
I mean, and if you want to watch Alabama tomorrow and you're not a Plus guy, I get Plus because I love college basketball and baseball. But if you're not watching, your basketball and baseball, then you're probably not as crazy about the Plus. They're gonna get you for that too tomorrow. So you're gonna get a lot of people.
Well, they're not gonna get me. I'll listen to Chris on the radio tomorrow on that. I probably will do Peacock tonight, and then probably after tomorrow I'll probably cancel
it. Yeah, there you go.
But Wimp, I was going to tell you, Wimp, you got busy with something yesterday, and I called back the second time, and I told Barry that I was thinking of the Tennessee-Georgia game all wrong. I was all focused on that Tennessee quarterback and offense and passing and all that. Wimp, that Georgia-Tennessee game tomorrow is going to be a defensive battle. I picked Tennessee because of their defense to win 17-16.
Yeah, this is not. And did you hear the first part of the show this morning?
Well, I just turned in. I had something going on. I just that second tuned in.
Talked about my Annette, Barry's mother, and my wife had been pretty sick, and that's where I was yesterday. We were having a real struggle there.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Well, it's okay. But my point is that they lost the running back. Georgia will not play. Their top running back, and
ETN,
and so that's very costly to them. And I know this is not a Georgia team of the past, and the quarterback has struggled like crazy. I thought, one of my big problems is I'm a home court guy, home field guy, because of basketball, and so when you said Tennessee the first time, I said opposite you. I said Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
You turned around and changed your mind. You decided Georgia, I think. And now, what are you saying? What do you think now? High scoring defensive game?
No, sir. I believe I was thinking about this game all wrong. I was focused on the quarterback for Tennessee way too much. I think it's going to be a defensive game, and Tennessee's got a really good defense. I know Georgia does too. But I think Tennessee is going to win the game. It's going to be a defensive struggle. I think a low-scoring game with the Vols winning 17-16. I think it's going to be a defensive-minded ball game, and I think I got too hung up on this quarterback.
If it is what you say it is, if it is a defensive game, I take Georgia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people agree with you. Yeah, a lot of people agree with you. But.
Yeah, and I hadn't studied the tiebreakers, but I think if Georgia beats some people that have said and Alabama runs it out, Philip, they may end up in Atlanta. Is that a good thing?
You talking about Georgia?
If Georgia wins, I think Alabama could end up in Atlanta if Alabama takes care of business at Oklahoma and against Auburn.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a good thing? Is that a good thing?
Yes. If Georgia wins, I would have to on the surface agree with that without getting into the weeds and looking at who played who and all that stuff. I would have to just hear on Friday morning.
I'm hoping some media guy's going to do all the scenarios, do all the work for us. Maybe we can get Chase to do that, do all the scenarios for us.
Well, sooner or later, I'm telling you, sooner or later, somebody's bound to get eliminated from this thing, but it just won't happen. And it keeps stretching out. And that's why I said earlier in the week that it's going to get messy here pretty soon, because just think if Army takes care of business next week and beats Notre Dame, I think Army has the toolbox to beat Notre Dame. I think that they're a lot better than Navy, I believe. And I think Army can stay on the field with Notre Dame if they don't explode on themselves like Navy did.
You know, one of the things I don't like, I hear people criticizing Indiana. Not just saying they're ranked too. They haven't beat a ranked team. Well, it's not their fault that Michigan's not that good. The thing that Indiana's done is they have whooped the people they're supposed to beat. Like they took UCLA and they beat them 42-13. They took Maryland, scored 42 on those. Nebraska beat them 56-7. Beat Washington by 14 points. Beat Michigan State on the road by 37. So they have been impressive in their wins. No, it's not their fault. They only beat who's on the schedule, but the teams that they played, they have hammered them. Now they didn't hammer Michigan, but I mean Indiana beating Michigan is a big thing. So I think they got them ranked the right way. You can't. I mean, Ohio State and them hadn't beaten anybody. Texas hadn't beaten anybody. So why are we holding Indiana to a different standard than these other teams? That's one thing I don't understand.
Yeah, I really like Indiana, and I'll tell you what, if they continue to have success and they're able to host a game in Bloomington in December, man, what an advantage that's going to be. Because like Wimp said yesterday, we're going to get into some cold as crap playoff games, man, that first week, that in December 20th. And 21st, a lot of these teams are in cold weather city, including Tuscaloosa will be cold. If Alabama's able to host one, it's not going to be warm by any means anywhere except in Miami.
That's right.
Well, I tell you what, this BYU thing, 2-point, BYU's 2-point favorite, Barry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
is a stir up in that. I'm on that other football show. And they are saying because of the weather, because of how poor BYU has played, how good Kansas has played, and all the bettors, people that they want you to, they want to fix it where you will bet. That's what they're
yes,
trying
they
to
do.
You'll bet some other teams when you bet this one, and so they tried to fix it where you would say, "Whoo, I can't pass that one up. I passed it up," but. And Barry thought it was a smart pass up too. So
it hasn't moved. You would think it'd trickle up to 3 or 4. It's still sitting right there at 2.5. Just say, "Come on, baby, take me. Come on, take it. Hey,
Barry. Yesterday you and Went were talking about the call that was made against Utah late in the game against BYU, and what it was BYU was passing, and Utah was on defense, and there was some grabbing going on between the cornerback and the receiver, right at the line of scrimmage, pretty much. There was some grabbing and pretty physical play right at the line of scrimmage, and the refs threw a flag for, I think the call may have actually been holding on the defensive back. I thought it was a really quick flag, and the announcer is on record and said it was a great call. It was a great call. I didn't think it was a great call. I thought it was two guys just trying to get position.
Well, was this $40,000 call for the AD?
It sure was. And I understand it. I understand his frustration.
Yeah. I mean, they probably recruited a lot of the guys. They don't want BYU getting all that publicity out there in Utah, and they continue this run. But that line is just flash. I'm looking at it right now. It's just flashing at me, saying 2.5.
The biggest problem we've had, and Barry and I have talked about it, and I was on this, is pass interference. The being able to call that if they don't hold. If they hold, we got it. But if you see where they don't grab the jersey, they don't hold the guy, then what is it? And it's hard to call.
Yeah. Well, Alabama's got to take care of business tomorrow as far as doing their part to win convincingly, because let me tell you something. Let me tell you, it's coming down to statistics, and the statistics need to be on your side at the end of the year if you're in the playoff picture and that there's a tiebreaker possibility. Whatever you got to do, you got to win convincingly and do your job.
Yeah. Well, I think Alabama's just got to win. If they just win. But
10-7 is okay.
Yeah, they're not going to keep them out of play. They just got to win. No, they want to look impressive just because they want to be playing good football, but they need to go 3-0 in the next 3 games. If they do that, then I think they're in good shape. Appreciate you, Philip.
Thank you.
Y'all have a great weekend.
All right, Dad, I need some help. I'm going to tell you the scenario that I'm going to break, and then you got to give me a suggestion here. All right, I don't have a very tall basketball team. We're not tall at all. We're going to Caledonia, Mississippi tomorrow. There's a big deal over there tomorrow that Hoover's going over there, Paul Bryant, a lot of Alabama teams, and we're playing Mississippi teams over there. Well, we drew Canton. Well, that don't mean anything to y'all, except they got this 6'10" guy named Jabarian Davis Fleming. He's 6'10", about 220. Chase, I will be able to get it. He is committed to Mississippi State. This kid can block shots. They could just throw it up to him, and we would jump up to his armpit, and he can just dunk the ball. He's ranked the number 92 player in the country. Now, he will hang out at 3 and fire threes. I hope he stays out there and shoots 30 of them. What are we going to do? I need a scouting report of how we're going to guard a guy 6'10" when my tallest guy's 6'3". Do we have any? I need some suggestions.
Where does he play? Does he play low post?
Well, he'll play out on the perimeter some, and then when he wants to score, he'll just go down in the low post and they just throw it up, and he can just. He's got ball skill. He's not like a 6'10". He can run. He can jump. He can do all that, but he tends to sometimes hang out on the perimeter. But he does go inside some.
You sound like you cannot front him. They'll throw the lob pass. So if that's true, and I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, you cannot front him. Then what you got to do is you got to get behind him, and you got to take the knee of the guy
that's a foul, though. You can't do that.
No, wait a minute now. You got to take the knee, your knees, and get in behind the guy and put your knee in his rear end.
But they'll call a foul on that.
Well, you don't have to do it much, but just to the point where if he does catch it, he won't shoot a very clean shot. Now, I don't mean take your and push him way off where they don't see it.
Now, defensively, he's a problem. So I'm thinking that we take whoever he's guarding and we bring him out on the perimeter.
Well,
and bring him out of. We got to bring him out of the middle.
Yeah, you do that. Yeah, everybody would do that. If you got to check the match. If they zone you, then of course you can. But
yeah, they ain't gonna zone our little team.
They're not gonna zone you. So you got to bring him out. The other factor is that in this particular game, you got to be willing to shoot the little twos along with the threes.
Yeah,
and the twos need to be. At the free throw line extended or in the free throw line area, you got to go ahead and say, I don't ever shoot twos. We just shoot layups. You ain't going to shoot no layups. And so the other thing is to shoot jump shots before you get there. The most important factor for you is to talk to the officials when you shake hands with them.
But the problem you're going to have is you're playing in Mississippi.
I know
and you're
that.
Have Mississippi
that's
officials.
the reason I'm saying this. I'm Barry Sanderson. I've been over here many years.
I've been thrown out in Mississippi twice.
My dad was coaching here. We could this, that, the other. we expect, and I think he's got some of the commissioners looking for new officials. They're evaluating officials, and that's pretty important. I mean, I'd say it in a joking way. I'd say it in a joking way. I'll tell you one thing there, but God, they evaluating officials. The SEC looking for the. That's what I'd do. I'd use that too.
I've been to Mississippi about 5 times.
They're not going to screw you until right after the national anthem.
And I have been thrown out. I've only been thrown out of 2 games, and they were both in Mississippi. One time I got thrown out over at Heritage, and it was back during COVID, so I was able to get my COVID shot scheduled while I was back there in the dressing room while they were still playing. Now, I'm going to tell my assistant, if he rides with me, if I get thrown out, you better find your own ride back because I'm going on back so I can watch that Tennessee-Georgia game. You listen to Tide 100.9. It's the home of Alabama sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Not too tight around the area freeways and side streets. We're only looking at basic travels right now. And if you're moving about 43 in the southbound lanes to McFarland, that is a little tap on the brakes, or you're on and off the brakes, I should say, between that stretch. McFarland.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You're listening to Inside the Locker Room with Wimp and Barry, only on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Great Southern Wood. Go to yellowwood.com. Put that zip code in. You can find the dealer closest to you. If it doesn't have that yellow tack on it, you don't want it. Somebody listening said, I love hearing your dad say, just put your knee in his butt. They did change that rule. If you put your knee and push them with your knee, they call a foul. But we still need to do that. Like, I got guards that are like 5'8". Like, if we fronted and they tried to throw it over, and those guys were like in the help defense, they wouldn't even come up to his armpit. He got a 7'2" wingspan, too, by the way. Alabama recruited him, but he's going to Mississippi State. All right, to the Yellowwood hotline, get Tim in. Good morning. Tim, you got any suggestions how we can guard this big boy?
Yes, I do. Now, here's my question to you. Are you small and fast, or are you small and slow? Because if you're small and slow, this ain't going to work.
I'd say I got some speed. Yeah.
Okay. I went to see a high school basketball game, and it was one of the greatest game plans and coaching jobs I think I ever saw in high school basketball. Mm-hmm. Do you remember when Richard Hendricks, I think that's his name, he was played in high school, big 6'9" guy, went on to a great college career at Alabama. And, well, I went to see them play John Carroll. I think it was at UAB that they played a game. And what John Carroll did, a guy named Marty Smith was the coach.
I know Marty.
What Marty did was his plan was to limit the number of touches that Richard could get by he full court pressed on a missed shot, on a made shot. On a missed shot, they did a 2/3 full court press, doing everything they could do to disrupt what they were trying to do on offense to get the ball down the floor and let Richard touch it. And I thought it worked. And they got some extra possessions by getting some steals because they were fast, they were quick. And it worked. John Carroll beat them. I thought it was a terrific game plan, and I never saw anybody do anything like that before. Now, you ain't got time.
Now, they do have
it's going to take a lot of work.
They do have some really quick guards. But I think you tell a guy like that, say, I bet you can't shoot the three. You can't shoot the three. And those guys like to go out there and prove to you they can shoot the three, and you hope he hits his first two because then he'll stay out there all night hitting them. If he catches the ball at 3, Tim, would you guard him out there? Would you just back up and make him?
No.
And those guys love to sling him up there from 3 because everybody wants to play on the perimeter now. So I'm hoping he's going to shoot a lot of threes.
I would tell one of my guys during warm-ups or going out there, go over to him and say, hey, big guy, we're going to let you shoot all the threes you want because we don't think you can hit them. So you fire away all you want, biggin. And get it in his head. But you remember last year when Alabama was going to play Purdue, I remember your dad saying, hey, let the big guy get his. Just don't let the other 4 guys beat you. Try to do everything you can do to limit their points.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I thought Marty Smith had one of the greatest game plans I ever saw. And I've never seen anybody 2/3 court press on a missed shot, zone press.
On a miss.
On a missed shot.
Yeah, most people get back on a miss. Yeah, and they went full court man on a make.
He got that from Samford.
They were full court zone on a made, 2/3 court zone on a miss.
So did they go back to zone?
They'd go back zone. They'd go back man. They do different stuff. They mixed it up.
Yeah. Problem
they kept them confused, and they limited Richard's touches.
I played Monday, Tuesday. I played last night. Then I played tomorrow at 3. So I ain't going to be able to practice that long today. So those guys are kind of tired.
No, you're not. You're going to be dead. You're going to be dead-legged, too.
They played Clinton last night. I got to find out what happened in that game. But a lot of good basketball over in Mississippi, so it should be a good deal. They got a nice facility over there in Caledonia. So, Tim, I appreciate it.
Good luck to you over there, and praying for your mom and Coach's wife.
Thank you. Thanks, Tim. All right, we'll take this last break, and then we'll come back and wrap up this first hour. You listen to Tide 100.9 and 1230 AM WTBC. It's the home of Alabama sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Not too tight around the area freeways and side streets. We're only looking at basic travels right now. And if you're moving about 43 in the southbound lanes to McFarland, that is a little tap on the brakes, or you're on and off the brakes, I should say, between that stretch. McFarland eastbound moving on to Lurleen Wallace, pretty much same situation. Tap on the brakes is all you have to worry about there, but no major hiccups. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Tammy Thomas.
Road tripping, business travel, or bringing your car in for repairs. All great reasons to rent a Toyota at Tuscaloosa Toyota. You can rent the latest Toyota models for a day, a week, or a weekend. Every Toyota rental-car comes with 24 hours roadside assistance.
It's enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A beautiful day today with sunshine in full supply, the high 65. Very cool tonight, the sky clear, the low 42. Tomorrow and Sunday, sunny both days, highs around 70. Monday, mostly sunny with a high at 73. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 46 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Need to know what's going on with the Crimson Tide? Then subscribe to our YouTube channel for exclusive content on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back to Inside Live. So, Dad, you think I'm going to get some bad officiating over there tomorrow?
Yeah. It will be awful.
Yeah, they're not paying to come watch Fleming sit on the bench, so he'll get 9 fouls.
They're not paying you to come over there for them to lose.
So maybe we should just hold the ball. If we can hold the ball, maybe I could just hold the ball.
Well, Preston's not a bad idea. I think you got that from Bucky. Bucky does a pretty good job of pressing on misses, mades, and stuff. I think that's fine to do. You look and see if they're really good at throwing the lob pass after they beat you on one pass.
Well, I think pressing is good because they're not a team that's going to hold it. They'll throw it up and shoot it. Now you don't have to guard them very long if you press them because they'll shoot it fast. Now, can you get the rebound is the question. So we shall see. All right, we got Cowboy and Tom holding. We'll take the break, and we'll get those guys. I want to cut them short. Maybe they got a game plan. Tom, Cowboy, y'all got a game plan? He's got 7'2" wingspan. He's tall. I need some help. Is there any way to make your guys grow overnight? They have any kind of pill they could take to grow? Get us a Tide 100.9. It's the home of Alabama sports.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Steve DeSager.
The Philadelphia Eagles are now 8-2 this NFL season after coming back to beat Washington 26-18. Eagles have won 6 straight. Saquon Barkley with 2 touchdown runs in the fourth quarter and 146 yards rushing. Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker will reportedly miss 3 to 4 weeks. He'll have a procedure on his left knee. Bills wide receiver Amari Cooper with his wrist injury was limited at practice Thursday. He's optimistic he'll be playing Sunday against the Chiefs. And NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says an increase to 16 international games per year will be tied to an 18-game schedule per team within 5 years, he hopes. In the NBA, just one contest. Utah beat Dallas 115-113. For the Mavs, Kyrie Irving was out with a shoulder injury.
Days repair and the future repairs. No overtime charges on weekends and holidays. No hassle guarantee. Adams Heating and Cooling, 205-872-0045.
Inside the locker room with former Crimson Tide basketball coach Wimp Sanderson and his son, former SEC and ACC assistant basketball coach Barry Sanderson. It's time to take you inside the locker room on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back to the second hour of Inside the Locker Room. Allstate Insurance agent, my agent, Andrew Kniffer. Andrew was at my game last night. He's at 4705 McFarland Boulevard, Suite 3 over in Northport. Give he and his staff a call. They've been in this community since 2002. They can help you any way possible. Look for home, life, auto, renters insurance. You don't need boat insurance. Well, you do need it, but you ain't going to be in the boat here very long. It's about to get cold, I hope. But whatever you need, these guys will take great care of you. Give them a call today, 205-722-9201. All right, get to the Andrew Kniffer hotline, get Cowboy in. Good morning, Cowboy. You got a game plan for me, Cowboy?
Yeah, there's no story. Feed your team a lot of green beans, and maybe the green beans will be like Jack and the Beanstalk, and it'll make them grow up for you.
Do you remember... did you watch Andy Griffith when you were growing up, Cowboy?
Yeah.
You remember that when Barney was too short to be a deputy and they were trying to stretch him? Maybe I need to go back and watch that and figure if they stretch how they stretched Barney. Maybe I could stretch some of our post players.
Yeah, get you some green beans, feed them that, some mashed potatoes and steak before Robert Kennedy Jr. gets this health deals on the food. They don't put all these chemicals on them on the food, starting whenever he can get his plan going through President Trump. And then right now you can maybe make them grow with the way they put this stuff on these beans, and stuff. And they'll go up.
All right, I might go with Dad's suggestion, putting my butt in his knee, but I don't know if the green beans and steak are going to help much between now and tomorrow at 3:30. So.
Well, Jack and the Beanstalk, it sprouted up real quick.
Maybe we'll have some green beans for lunch today. So
there you go. Feed them that green bean meal. Maybe it'd be like Jack and the Beanstalk.
There you go.
What y'all thinking on that Texas Arkansas game tomorrow?
Dad, you give them the Razorbacks in chance, line 13.5.
No, I do not. I almost
I'm going
took the
Texas,
game, but it was 14. And
that means it went up.
I have a lot of respect for the offensive coordinator. I don't know how bad Green is, a quarterback. I wasn't sure he got hurt, and I have a lot of respect for the offensive coordinator. What's his name tells me, the guy we have on the show all the time, he's the best offensive coordinator in the country.
Petrino?
Something's going on. That line was 13.5 yesterday, and now it's 12.
Well, I took South Carolina.
So if you liked it at 13.5, you should love it at 12, Cowboy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
What about that LSU Florida game?
That's a I don't know game.
That game also went down a half a point. It was 4. It's 3.5 now. LSU's favored 3.5.
Yeah.
I just don't. What is LSU's mindset going?
I mean,
down there?
that was an embarrassment for the ages there.
Yeah.
How
So
do you
either they
recover
got their
from that?
attention, or they've quit on him. Yeah, that's what you got to figure out before you. So that would be one I wouldn't touch, Cowboy.
Right.
I didn't touch that one. I bypassed it. No.
Yeah. I believe I like Georgia tomorrow. I can't see them losing two.
Yeah, I kind of think so too, but I don't know.
Yeah, that line's 9.5. So you like them 9.5? You like them 9.5 points?
I'll buy the half and get 9.
Yeah, I just don't. Carson Beck this year. I don't know, Cowboy.
Some guy called Ryan Fowler show yesterday and said if he's at Alabama, we'd be undefeated. I said, oh, gosh, I don't know about that.
No.
This guy.
Well, I'll tell you, Greg McElroy, I loved him last year. He thought he was the most underrated quarterback in America.
That's like A.J. McCarron. He rants and raves about that guy at LSU. He can't move. So if you can get to him, I don't know why they think he's so great. You get to him, he's not effective. An Alabama guy, he can't get out of the pocket. So
Yeah.
I don't know what A.J. McCarron's looking at, saying he's the best quarterback in the SEC. I don't see that.
Well, he's a lot like A.J. was, I guess A.J. thinks, but I don't know.
Yeah.
What y'all think on that basketball game tonight? Alabama Purdue.
Win.
Line's 2.5. Alabama 2.5 point favorite. It'll be a tough environment. I will tell you that. And Alabama struggled last year on the road, so they got to get that fixed.
I think they need to get a road win like this tonight, and let the national folks know they're for real. You know
Sometimes
what I'm
those
saying?
freshmen,
Ain't no problem there.
Sometimes those freshmen look like freshmen on the road. So it'd be interesting to see how they do in a road environment tonight. That'll be something.
But don't you agree? This is a big game to get a good start out on the road positive and get that big road win.
Yeah.
Don't go up there serious and get a win tonight.
Yeah.
Well, Jay Billis picked him number 2 in the country, and he's good.
So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Jay a couple weeks ago doing an NBA game on ESPN. He sounded good. He ought to do that some too. I like him.
You need to stop talking about the players getting paid. It's happened, said Jay. So it's all for it.
Hey, who's your blue plate coach? I was busy yesterday. I didn't get to hear.
I took South Carolina. I like South Carolina because they're playing well and because they're playing at home.
They've got Missouri.
And 13.5.
Let me see if that line's changed. It's still 13.5. So.
Hey, Barry.
Yeah.
When you were at South Carolina,
yeah.
Did you know Spurrier Jr.?
Yeah.
Why is he coaching like at Tulsa now? Or does he just like coaching? His career is kind of, I'm not trying to make fun of nobody. It's kind of turned into vagabond coaching spots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he, honestly, Cowboy, he's got, and I don't mean this ugly, and I'm not even sure how, he got so many kids. He got so many kids to look at. I don't know how many kids they got. He got a ton of kids.
He had triplets, I think.
Yeah, he had some more. He's got a lot of kids. So I don't know how hard he worked, just to be honest with you.
Yeah, his dad was at the game up there wearing the Tulsa. It just didn't seem right. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I think they got beat last night by East Carolina.
All right. All right. Let me get to Tom.
Y'all be good.
Thank you, boy.
Yeah, tell Tom and watch his soap operas today.
See you. All right, back to the Yellowwood Hotline. What's up, Tom?
Barry, good morning. Good morning, Coach.
Tom, you got a game plan for me. I don't like the green game plan. I don't think that's going to work.
No, I'm not going that. I'm going to go with what you said earlier when the discussion about the big kid at Florida. You threw out a strategy. I think it'll work for Purdue.
Ooh. Tom, I don't know where you are on your phone. Ooh. Put him on.
Let me call you back.
All right. Ooh, that was bad. These lines, they ain't changed a ton. That Georgia line's 9.5. South Carolina 13.5, which we know you like that. We said LSU, Florida don't touch. How about Monroe and Auburn? That line's gone up at a point to 25.5. Is this the week that Auburn finally?
I like Monroe.
Yeah. All right, back to Tom. Yeah, Auburn, I probably wouldn't touch that one either. All right, Tom, you're better. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you clear now.
Good. I said I'd use the strategy that you pointed out in a discussion earlier when the talk was about the kid at Florida, how tall he is, how big he is, 300 pounds or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd go with that. I thought it sounded pretty good.
Okay. We'll try it. What else you got this morning, my man?
Well, yesterday I read on social media where the commissioner was on some kind of show. Anyway, somebody posted, and he made the statement. He's Jewish, is he not?
Yes.
Okay, he made the statement that the fans in the SEC need to show more grace, a Christian word, toward the officials in the SEC. Now, I got news for that commissioner. He don't need to be popping off about Christians showing grace. It's football. It's not going to church. Now, I don't know where he come up with that, but I think he tried to backhand insult the fans of the SEC by using that word. What do you think?
Well, I don't think he was referring to, I mean, they may make a bad call. That doesn't give you the right to throw stuff on the field and put players and spectators.
I'm not advocating that.
Yeah, so I think that's probably what he's talking about, don't you?
Well, then why don't he do something about it?
Well, he fined them $300,000. He ain't in the stands.
Well, you know what? If they do it again, he ought to double.
I love when people say, what is he supposed to do about some drunk idiots all of a sudden don't like a call and they start throwing stuff? How does he do? What does he do? Fine them. What else can he do?
Well, yeah, I think you got a good point there. I'm not going to argue that, and because you can't control everybody. That's your point.
You can't fix stupid.
And,
you can't fix stupid.
Yeah, but I tell you what, too, he can choose his word. He's in a powerful position, and he needs to choose his word more carefully. Don't you think? Coming from where he is in life and to where we sit in life, and to try to insult somebody about church and their faith and all like that by using a word, and he did that to specifically target the fans of the SEC, and I thought it was a pretty cheap shot.
Ooh, I didn't, Dad. I didn't hear it. Do you take it? I just take it that these guys are human. They're gonna make some mistakes. Don't act a fool when they make a mistake. Dad, I don't know how you take it. I'm going based on what you said that he said. I didn't hear it, but
I
read it. I didn't hear it. I don't know what show he was on.
Yeah.
I read the quote. It was in quotation.
Yeah.
Oh, I just think he stays off that subject. He's commissioner. He stays off that subject.
I think he's just saying. I don't even know if he's trying to say it in religious terms.
I think so. I think he knew exactly what he was saying, and a lot of people you come to the South. They're Bible thumpers. Let's insult them about their beliefs. That's the first thing a Yankee does. And
Tom, I don't see that.
Oh yeah, sure. That's exactly what it was. I don't know why you're all up here taking.
He's trying to get people to stop throwing stuff on the field.
Oh, okay. I'm not arguing. You're right about that. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying when he addresses it, obviously that's not a lot of Christian behavior, slinging whiskey bottles and cups and everything else on. No. So I don't know why he invoked that word into the situation.
What if they threw?
He should have said something like, "Quit acting like a dumbass."
What if they threw the whiskey bottle, and when it hit the ground, they prayed for forgiveness?
Barry, why are you being sarcastic about a serious subject?
You said they were throwing a whiskey bottle.
I'll tell you what happened.
Lord, please.
I'll tell you what happened with Coach Stallings.
What's that?
They were in Oxford playing Ole Miss, and Jay Barker said that he was standing by Coach Stallings. And Coach Stallings had told them before they come out of the tunnel, he said, do not take your helmet off. I don't care what the situation is, don't take your helmet off. These are some crazy people over here that they're bad about throwing stuff. Jay said he was standing on the sideline by Coach Stallings, and he said a whiskey ball, a pint whiskey ball, empty, whizzed by Coach Stallings' head, missed him by an inch. Now, what if that had hit him?
That's why the commissioner's saying show some grace.
Well, no, okay, all right. See you.
Tom,
have a good weekend.
I think Tom is overthinking that one. A guy just texted me that. He's just trying to get you to behave a little bit in the stadium. Quit acting like a fool. You're making the league look bad. You listen to Tide 100.9. Oh, my favorite part, we're about to get this Coach Sonny Smith, is listening to his music. You listen to Tide 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC. It's the home of Alabama sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Same song, different verse, and that's not a bad thing. We are moving with a purpose on the Tuscaloosa freeways and side streets at that. Lurleen Wallace is a little on the slower side, but typical on the southbound lanes at University Boulevard. So you do have some brake lights hitting back to 5th Street. And then inside the construction zone, you may slow down.
To be. Visit us now to save big and discover why so many are switching to BMW. BMW of Tuscaloosa. Take your dreams for a drive.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. Its daily update on Bama sports and is brought to you by Guthrie's. America's original chicken finger restaurant is now an official partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide. For franchise information, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Alabama men's basketball head coach Nate Oates met with the media on Thursday to preview Alabama's Friday night game at Purdue.
Start of a big 7-game stretch that we've been talking about since we put the schedule together. Doesn't start out easy on the road, and maybe the best environment in the Big Ten from what I've heard. I've never been there. I've been to a lot of Big Ten arenas. They didn't really ever recruit any of my guys at Romeo, so I was never able to get to Purdue. So this will be my first time in there, but Cliff tells us it's a great environment. I've heard from a lot of people it's a great environment. I'm looking forward to being in the environment.
I'll have more in a moment.
Founded in Haleyville, Alabama in 1965 by Hal and Melissa Guthrie, Guthrie's was America's first chicken finger restaurant. Guthrie still uses the family's original Southern fried chicken recipe in every chicken finger they serve. Fresh, hot, and fast. Guthrie's Golden Fried Chicken Fingers has been Alabama owned and operated since 1965, and Guthrie's is still growing strong. Come see us soon. Guthrie's, America's original chicken finger restaurant, and now an official partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide. For franchise information, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com.
We've got you covered for Crimson Tide football on Saturday against Mercer. Our radio coverage across the network will begin at 10 a.m. Central, live from Vector Security Champions Lane outside Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium, leading you up to kickoff at 1 p.m. Make sure to listen on our full radio network, the Varsity Network app, as well as watch the Yay Alabama Booth Cam on all CTSN social media platforms. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Guthrie's. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Two-time state champion and two-time NIT champion, Barry Sanderson breaks down the latest in sports on Inside the Locker Room on Tide 100.9.
You don't know about
Smith brought that into our life, into our show every Friday. Tuscaloosa Toyota, go to TuscaloosaToyota.com. Look at the new inventory, the pre-owned inventory. You schedule a service, rent a Toyota, or swing by Skyland Boulevard, see Justin, see Dave. And they got great deals on the trucks, the SUVs, those 2025 Camrys are already in. Beautiful cars. So get out there today and tell them that Wimp and Barry sent you. All right, get to Tuscaloosa Toyota Hotline. We're fortunate to have the NABC District 6 Coach of the Year, Ohio Valley Coach of the Year, two-time SEC Coach of the Year, the CAA Coach of the Year, and Chase, the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. He will be getting honored on December the 8th for all the service he's done for Auburn as a coach and a broadcaster. There's a rumor that Dad's trying to get down there, Coach. You might want to tell him it's going to be on December the 9th.
Yeah, I believe it's on the 10th.
Yeah, did they move it?
Yeah, it's midnight on the 10th.
Midnight on the 10th. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Tell him to be there. Hey, how you guys doing?
We're good. How you?
Pretty good. I hope you are.
Yeah.
Is this Crimson Tide team as good as it sounds?
I think it has the potential to be, Sonny. I don't know that it is.
I do
yet,
too.
but I think it has the potential to be. Yeah.
Somebody was asking me, and I said it's kind of like Auburn. If Auburn's depth is good, they're really going to be good. And I was thinking, how's Alabama going to be in that same regard? Maybe they're great off the bench also. And if they are, we know their starters are really good.
I asked Dad what he would have done to those two players that were fighting on the airplane. He said, "Well, how good are they?" Before he decided what he was going to do.
You know what? I had similar thoughts. Wonder why we would think like that.
If that was Janiah Broom, you would be probably suspending the guy that was fighting with him, but you wouldn't touch Janiah Broom.
I'd give him a raise.
Yeah.
I'd raise his salary.
All kidding aside, how do you handle that? 'Cause we don't know what it was about. If you do know, please tell us. But it's kind of an embarrassing situation there. The fact that they had the composure to still go to Houston and beat a Kelvin Sampson team probably says something there as well. But how do you handle situations like that?
I'd say the same thing that we had. I would say we're going to handle it in-house.
Yeah.
And then you go from there on how your policies would be towards fighting among players. You know, what kind of suspensions or whatever you're going to do, what kind of punishments are you going to put on them, and you follow through with it, and you definitely follow through. You don't back off. You probably may add a little bit because that's a highlight to people when they hear about it, fighting among your players.
Yeah,
that can carry on and go around the rest of the league and can hurt you. It can hurt you in recruiting. It can hurt you in so many ways. So the way you handle it also can hurt you. So make sure you handle it properly, especially in the light of what the media or what other people are going to think you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know. I never had that. I had a lot of problems, but I don't know if that was one of them.
Well, two guys on a plane got to screaming at one another, and they stood up like they're going to fight, but they did not. Somebody stepped in between them, and the pilot, because of all the shouting going on between the two guys, decided to go back to the airport and land the plane. He landed the plane, and I guess they kind of dressed him out a little bit. Bruce Pearl did, and they put him on a plane, went right back, and not much was said about it. But now a lot has been said about it since then because it kind of got out a little bit more. But as far as I'm concerned, it was handled in-house. What did Wimp say? I missed that.
Yeah, who's the 3 or 4 best teams in the league in basketball?
Boy, that's tough for me. It's tough for me because I'm not paying attention to it until they get started.
Well, Arkansas is not as good. I can tell you that. Alabama's the best. I think.
You think Alabama's the best team in the league? You're not the only one that's told that. It's not like Wimp said they were.
Good on defense, but not quite what they need to be on offense. And Tennessee's good. Those are the group I'd think about. I don't know how Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, what do you think about Mark Pope? I mean, he came in there and basically the team was gutted. He puts a entire new team together. He's playing a different style, and they go out and beat Duke. Mark Pope's done a great job there so far, his first few months of the season.
Well, you wouldn't think of Kentucky taking transfers.
Yeah.
But a guy like Mark, who didn't have as much returning to be the Kentucky of old, he went out and took a lot of transfers. And I imagine that if a transfer is going to transfer, he's going to look at Kentucky first, along with Duke and other great basketball programs. So I would imagine they're going to bring in a transfer that's not really a good player. So I think they'll be ready to go.
Yeah, they got a big win beating Duke, and they're running some really good offense. They just look. I mean, Arkansas just stands around on offense, but seems like Mark Pope has a real plan there. And I think Tennessee, they got a lot of veteran guys back. Rick Barnes has been around the block or two. They're a physical team. I think they got a chance to be really good again this year.
Well, I know Tennessee will be good. I'm trying to think of other teams that apparently loaded up with transfers. Georgia, they're speaking a lot about Georgia around here. Have you heard the same kind of thing, positive?
I hadn't seen, Deb, you seen Georgia? I hadn't seen Georgia this year.
I haven't seen them, but they're saying that they loaded up and they're pretty good.
Yeah.
I think they're better. Of course, they need to be better, but I think.
No, they really need to be better.
I think he's gone in there and gotten him a few players. Yeah, I think they're better. I think the league has got 4 or 5 really good ones, and I think he drops off.
What do you guys think about? What do you think about taking transfers as opposed to recruiting high school players? Are you all think that's a way to go?
I think you got to get a combination of both. You got to get.
I think you got to do a little program, sustain the program, so to speak. You got to take some young people.
Yeah, you need some young people, but then you also need to fill some needs with some guys that have played a lot. And even these guys that have played the smaller conferences, they've averaged 18, 19, 20 a game. They usually come in there and play pretty well. So I think Alabama's got the right balance here. A guy like Mark Sears, he's come in and done really well. Reitzel, guys that have – and then they got the really good freshmen to go with them. So I think it's probably a good combination there.
Barry, I always look at it like this, and Wimp, I think they'll probably be the same way. If you're going to take transfers from other schools, you're not going to get a post player to transfer there. You're going to get some guys that can really shoot the ball from perimeter, and a lot of times you can make your club stronger by getting players that can shoot from the perimeter, and I think that's what people are doing. They're getting a lot of transfers that are perimeter players. I don't think post players are going to transfer unless they're absolutely much, much better at the place they are and can get better if they go to a bigger place.
Yeah. Auburn takes on Louisiana Monroe this weekend. They need to play well, just for the future. Hugh Freeze has come out and said they're already re-recruiting the guys on their team, and now they, I guess, got to go see Own to Victory about what they can do for them. That's tough, man, when you're not having such a bad year, but you still got to cater to these guys that are there, and they're going to want more money. And boy, what times it is now in college athletics when you're having to pay guys more money and you're sitting there 3 and 6, whatever they are, Coach.
Yeah. Well, I think if when you ask me and you think, how are the Auburn fans looking at this situation? I think, how Hunter will sit around waiting to shoot something with a cocked gun, waiting on a rabbit to jump out or to score. I think everybody's got a cocked gun just waiting on him to make a mistake so they can say, well, he's got to go. But I think he's got more people wanting him to stay than he does wanting him to go. Everybody, the people that are not close to the program as they want to be, maybe totally different. But I think the people closer to the program wants him to make it, and they're hoping they can, but they also got that cock gun type of attitude.
Yeah, that.
Oh, I don't really have anything else. Anything NASCAR that you can tell us?
No, NASCAR's healthy. NASCAR fills the arenas, the stands when the people race. The racing has been good. They don't have controversies, and if you got to be a NASCAR fan to keep up. Now, the reason I say that, because the media does not cover NASCAR as much as they cover it the day before the race, the day of the race, and slightly after, and then you don't hear anything about it the rest of the week as you would about the other sports, where it's covered the total week around. And so NASCAR doesn't get the publicity that I think that it deserves, because it's a great sport, and I love watching it. And I think people, when you think about diehard fans, you get somebody connected to NASCAR, boy, they really hook on to it. And I'm one of those guys.
All right, Coach, I need your help. Dad's already gave me a suggestion. The callers have been giving me. I'm coaching a high school team here, Northridge. We're going over to Caledonia, Mississippi tomorrow to play Canton High School. It's really good. They've got a 6'10" kid with a 7'2" wingspan that's committed to Mississippi State. They can just throw it up to him, and our guys can't jump up to his shoulder. My tallest guys are like 6'1". I need a game plan as to what we're going to do against this 6'10" kid. I need some help.
Pick out the meanest guy.
Dad said put your knee up his butt and push him out of there. They're going to call that a foul. I had a guy call and say eat some green beans and grow. I don't think that's going to work. Somebody called and said press them full on makes and 3/4 on misses. Press them. You got any suggestion for me?
Yeah. Get somebody to hit him early in the game, start a fight. Get him thrown out. Huh?
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of, you covered everything else.
That's probably now we're going to be in Mississippi. We're going to have Mississippi officials.
Now when you hit him, have a constable with you. Take some. Tell them you got to take a patrolman or somebody with you, so you think you got your own law enforcement in case you have to fight your way out of there.
Should I have a player say something about his mama?
Lord, yeah. Start out with that. Out with that. I don't think that'll get him too mad, because he might not know his mama.
That might. That might fire him up though, and then he might really start playing hard. I hope he shoots a lot of threes. Coach, is what I'm hoping.
Well, you ain't going to talk good to him. So if you ain't going to hit him, what do?
I don't know.
Cancel a game. Cancellation works good.
I mean, you guys are in the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame.
The referee, Sonny's going to screw him.
That's all y'all got. You guys are SEC Coach of the Year.
Well, let me just
Sports Hall of Fame. You're saying getting a fight? That's all y'all got?
He didn't mention one thing I said, Sonny. I said, talk to the officials before the game. They're going to screw you. Tell them that the SEC is watching that game to see if they might bring those officials into the SEC.
It ain't like your father to bring up officials.
Yeah,
he owned them.
Oh,
officials were a part of his family.
That guy that's the SEC's bringing in some new officials next year, and the guy that's the recruiter is my dad's best friend. He told me to look for some guys over here in Mississippi.
Are you kidding me?
You think if you go to Canton, Mississippi, Sonny, that they want anybody in Canton to lose?
No, I played baseball for Canton back in the old days. I played there for a season.
They won the state last year.
That's a great town.
Yeah, well, we're actually playing in Caledonia. I don't have to go to Canton.
I don't know. I didn't play in Caledonia. I probably went through there. Did you sell beer? If you sold beer, I went through there.
I don't know. You didn't bootleg over in Caledonia?
No,
Mississippi.
No.
I've only been thrown out twice in coaching, and both of them been in Mississippi. I don't usually do well over in Mississippi, Coach. So maybe I'll just get thrown out and let my assistants worry about it. It won't be my problem. I'll go on back home. So I don't know what else to do.
You're your daddy's son. I can say that.
I was telling them the SEC, they need some more Southern
Tell them
officials.
you're the son of Wimp Sanderson. They'll throw you out real quick. Huh?
But that guy's going to be so old if he knows y'all that he ain't going to be able to call in the SEC. He ain't going to be able to get up and down.
No, if you mention our names, he'd be so young, he wouldn't know who we
Yeah, that's
were.
what I'm saying. He's going to think about
That's
you.
exactly right. I met a guy the other day that I told him I was Sonny Smith. He said, "Who's Sonny Smith?" I said, "Ain't no need talking to you. It doesn't look like."
Well, have you taught? Is it Randall Dickey that's doing your spot?
Randall Dickey's doing it. Have you heard him? I'm going to ask you that.
One time, but have you told him?
Is he good?
He's not as good as you.
He's a lot better.
Have you told him how to be a homer? Have you taught him how to be a homer?
Oh, well, I give every one of them the speech. The guy that's covering for me that game, I give him the speech. You got to be a homer. You got to be a homer to the point that you make everybody mad.
Yeah.
You own people.
Yeah.
So he's learning. He's learning. He came from Arkansas. Wimp's been to Arkansas one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Little Rock.
How do you get that job?
I don't know, but I think who's the guy he worked for before he came here that was so good? Eddie Sutton.
Yeah.
I'd say Eddie Sutton had a lot to do with that.
Eddie's dead.
Maybe he didn't have as much as I thought he did.
Oh, maybe
Eddie passed away.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I have to give you an opening. You don't create your own anymore.
Sometimes, maybe Eddie's came back to life. I don't know, but
and maybe we ought to change the conversation. What do you think?
Randall D. So he doesn't live in Auburn? I figured.
I think he does. I don't know Randall real well, but I like what I've when I met him. I've been really impressed with him.
What's a bigger loss, Dad? Alabama losing Eli Gold or Auburn losing Sonny Smith on the radio?
Oh, there's no question. Who's that guy named Eli Gold? I never heard of him.
Heard of Eli? He does some NASCAR, I think. So.
Eli and Wimp and I did a show together.
Really?
Eli liked me better. He liked me better than he did Wimp.
Where did we do that show at?
Well, where was it? Jocks, maybe? We did a show together.
He did the show?
Yeah, he was on the same station we were. Maybe he might have been on the hour after us or something. One time we were on at the same time.
Well,
you know, my memory ain't what it used to be. It could have been in another life. I don't remember. Today's my birthday. Tell everybody out there to send presents.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, today's my birthday.
You got Venmo?
Oh, yes.
We'll Venmo. Give Chase your Venmo. We'll have the listeners Venmo you some money. For your birthday. Don't be expecting much because we ain't got many listeners. But anyway.
Well, if you didn't have me on the show, it probably you would have a lot less.
Yeah.
But I know I'm so good for you.
You are.
Ask me a real question that I can answer, and it will keep people going.
What time is it?
It's time for me to get up.
It's time for us to go to break. Coach, we appreciate you being on with us.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on, fellas.
Have a great weekend.
Happy birthday, son.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Thank you.
Can you blow out? You have to get a fan to blow out the candles.
Yeah, you need a wind tunnel.
Fan.
All right, let's tell them about Bryant Bank before we get to break.
Bryant Bank, 4 locations. Not only in Tuscaloosa, but that many in Birmingham and Columbiana, throughout the state of Alabama. They'll be the bank of you. They'll be the bank of your community. You'll be able to online bank anytime you wish. You'll be able to meet somebody that when you go in there that can help you with the problems that you have, whether you have a personal account or a business account. And on top of all that, your bank money will be safe, and that's important. So if you want to deal with somebody who knows you by the first name and does what they can for you, and more than that, and be a great pillar in the community that bank is, then go by Bryant Bank and tell them you heard on the Inside of the Locker Room.
All right, phone lines be up at 205-342-9904. Turn it up, Chase. Let it go.
You don't know about
You listen to Tide 100.9, 1230 a.m.
So I brought these pretty flowers, hoping you would understand. Sometimes, man.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, a very happy TGIF to you. We are still Friday light around the area. Have been pretty much most of the morning. We've got 43. That's just a little on the slower side. Southbound hook up to McFarland Boulevard. And that's typical travels. Also, not seeing any severely heavy delays on Skyland Boulevard on the westbound lane.
Free shipping to your home on purchases over $25. Your new Academy Sports and Outdoor store is located at 4610 U.S. Highway 280 in Birmingham.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A beautiful day today with sunshine in full supply, the high 65. Very cool tonight, the sky clear, the low 42. Tomorrow and Sunday, sunny both days, highs around 70. Monday, mostly sunny with a high at 73. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 52 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
For more from Tide 100.9,
Let's it fly! And there's it! Whoa!
Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and SoundCloud.
Welcome back to Inside the Locker. All right, America, we're stupid. We are stupid. Tonight, Dad, Mike Tyson is going to fight Jake Paul. Is it Jake Paul? Yeah, Jake Paul. They're gonna fight, if it goes the distance, 8 rounds, 2-minute rounds. Last night they had the weigh-in, and of course to get the publicity going, they had Mike Tyson. It's staged, people. They had him slap Jake Paul. That gets news. Everybody's looking. They slap. Jake Paul has said that he's going to make $40 million, and Mike Tyson's going to make right at 20 for this fight. It's on Netflix, and people are buying into this. This is a scam, people. 16 minutes, if they went the full distance, and the guy's going to make $40 million, and you guys are buying into this. Is Jake Paul a YouTuber? Like, what is he?
Yeah, he's a YouTuber. His brother is actually in the WWE, if I'm not mistaken. So they have ties all over the place. I don't even know how this match started, because there's always like a story behind it. So I don't know.
I can tell you how it started. It started because of money, gambling.
Yeah, it started, gambling to it. But, well, there is probably gambling to it.
Oh, gambling. There's all kind of gambling.
Mike Tyson, actually, he looks good for 58. He's 58. He's going to get, of course, he's got those marijuana deals out there in Vegas that he sells. He probably going to have some before he gets in.
If people can figure out that it's not fixed, and that they can get Vegas to tell them, but very definitely it's not fixed, a lot of gambling.
It's fixed.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if the result's going to be fixed, but slapping the guy at the weigh-in, that's fixed. That's all fixed. And for those guys to get that kind of money, like, I don't get it. I guess is that many people are going to get the Netflix? It's like $6 or something a month, I think it said, to get it. So I don't know how many people, if you already have Netflix, or you have to get a special, you have to buy it special on Netflix, Chase.
I think so, because me and my girlfriend were talking about this yesterday.
You're going to watch it, aren't you? Yeah, you're going to watch it.
No comment.
Yeah, you're going to watch it.
I'm sure he's going to watch it.
Yeah, he's going to watch it. So you're one of the ones I'm talking. All right, we got to take a break. We'll get to Larry when we get back. $60 million to these two guys. The most they could fight is 16 minutes. It's a pretty good payday. You listen to Tide 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC. It's the home of Alabama sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, a very happy TGIF to you. We are still Friday light around the area. Have been pretty much most of the morning. We've got 43. That's just a little on the slower side. Southbound hook up to McFarland Boulevard. And that's typical travels. Also, not seeing any severely heavy delays on Skyland Boulevard on the westbound lane.
It's the Tide Tailgate Show on 95.3 The Bear and Tide 100.9 WTBC 1230. Roll Tide.
Mr. SEC Tournament Wimp Sanderson gives you his excellent analysis every weekday on Inside the Locker Room, right here on Tide 100.9.
To the Yellowwood Hotline. Let this be the last caller of the week, Larry the Music Man. What's up, Larry?
Man, how y'all doing this morning?
We're good. How you, Larry?
I'm doing good. Listen, I always enjoy Coach Smith's segment. Is he a regular on Friday?
He is.
I wanted to know if he ever crossed paths with Vern or saw him live. I've got an upcoming segment soon on Vern. I got to do some shows with him and meet him, and he had a very rough, tough career till he actually hit it, with his string of hits in the late 80s.
Yeah.
And I want to know if Coach Smith ever run across paths with him.
Well, call in next
week. I'll call.
Yeah, call in next Friday. You can ask him right here on the air. Y'all can kick it around.
Well, I don't want to intrude on the show now. I just want
you good.
That song makes the hair on your arm stand up, because if you've ever lost a woman, yes, that song there, it'll put you in the corner. But I want to tell the coach there's a new Elvis special out on Netflix with Priscilla Presley. It's called The King Returns. It might be worth watching. We watched it Wednesday night, and it's quite good.
Dad, you like the Elvis Presley, didn't you?
I do like him. You can tell Sonny, but he won't know how to find it.
Yeah, he won't. You can watch it and tell him.
You can't hurt.
No, that just got me right off about Vern Gosselin. Y'all playing that song, man. That is awesome.
Yeah, that's his walk-up music. Pretty good song there. So call him next week. Call him next week, Larry. You can ask him right on the air. So.
I will, Barry. Thank you so much. Y'all have a good weekend.
Thank you. All right, that's it for today's show. We'll get out of here, and we'll make way for the Gary Harris Show. Gary's down. He just pulled his keys out of his pocket, and he's trying to open up the door over there at Innisfree. Gary thinks people are going to come hang out with him if it's not open. They go over to eat and drink, Gary. They ain't coming to hang out with you. So stay there after 11, and I tell you what, if you go hang out with Gary, he'll buy you a meal today. So go over there after 11, and he's not tight at all. He'll buy you a meal and a drink. So go by there and see Gary. Tell him that Chase said that lunch is on him when you get over there. All right, that's it. Mercer, Alabama tomorrow. Traffic's flowing in here and getting ready for that one. But Alabama, Purdue tonight on Peak. I got to go to a party tonight, Chase, that my wife just told me about. If you're listening, we need to have Peacock on that TV tonight at that party. If not, I'm going to have to be a little late. You listen to Tide 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC. It's the home of Alabama sports. I'll let you know Monday how we do against the 6'10 guy. Say a prayer for us. Listen to Tide 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC. It's the home of Alabama sports.
What's a corn farmer's favorite dog? A husky.
Some things shouldn't be flat. But with GHX, you can maximize your acres with one flat price. While other brands sell by the bag, we sell seed by the acre to maximize your yield and profit potential. Our custom seed recommendations combine extensive product characterization and agronomic expertise to get the right product, population, and placement, all for one flat price per acre. Learn how at ghxseed.com/connect.